Please be seated. The court is now back in session, and I now hand the floor to the prosecution to put questions to the civil party. If you have any question, and you have 15 minutes to do so.
Thank you, Mr. President. Civil party, I'm therefore going to put questions to you on behalf of the co-prosecutors, and I would like to know if you were wounded during fighting with Vietnamese forces, and if that is the case, what kind of injury did you suffer from?
I had minor wounds. In fact, I was stationed at Tram Khna, that is the location to the south of Phnom Penh, and it was not against the Vietnamese, it was the fight between Khmer and Khmer. In fact, I did not engage in the fighting. I carried the people to the rear, and after I was wounded, I was assigned to work at the rear. I had injury to my lower back and to my head.
So if I understood you well, just before 17 April 1975, you were already, or you already had joined the revolution. You were no longer a student. Is that correct?
I was not a student because by that time I joined the army, so I was a soldier.
Can you give us an idea of a idea regarding your marriage? When did this marriage take place in Mondulkiri? In which year approximately?
I got married toward 1977, or rather it was in 1977, and immediately after the wedding it was 1978.
Do you know what your superiors, do you know why your superiors were urging you to get married there on site?
I did not know that either. During the regime, I was afraid, and despite the fact that I did not know the reasons, I was afraid that I was accused of denying to get married, then I would be sanctioned. Because the instruction for us, or for me, was to get married, and if problems happen in the future, then I had to be responsible for those problems, and for that reasons I agreed to the marriage.
What was the name of the person who ordered you to get married? Was he someone from the Sector 105 Army, or was he someone from K11? So can you tell us specifically who ordered you to get married?
Yes, I can do that. The name is Saupir, who was a Charai ethnicity. And Cham was also an ethnic person, although I did not know the actual ethnicity. And the chief, and he was the chief of the provincial army.
Do you know what happened to Tasopia at the end of the DK regime?
Autrement dit, est-ce qu'il est resté?
Otherwise, in other words, did he survive or not?
No, he was not there. He did not survive because later on, due to his activities, he was arrested. And that happened not long after I got married. He was accused of being a traitor, and he was arrested as a result.
Just so that the chamber may know, we have Hudke's Confessions alias Sophia at E3/2593. These are confessions that were gathered at S21, dated 31 December 1978. And you said that you had a fiancé in your village who was Khmer, I assume, but that you had to marry a young Phnong. So the Phnong are an ethnic minority. So therefore they spoke a different language. And they had a different culture, and they had a different religion. So did this pain you to have to marry a Phnong woman, given these cultural differences between the Khmer and the Phnong?
During the regime, there was no such culture. We were being monitored if we consummate the marriage or not. And that's what happened. We were afraid, so we had to consummate the marriage. And that happened 3 days after the marriage. I had to think during the initial 3 days, and then after that I decided to consummate the marriage because we had been monitored.
You said that you decided to consummate the marriage. Was your young spouse in agreement?
Because we were arranged to get married, and we both were afraid, and that's what we had to do, and that's what we had to respect them. Otherwise, we would risk being killed.
So your wife Telbe, was she still a teenager, or was she older than 20 when you got married? I know that you can only give us an approximate idea, but can you please give us an idea? Was she therefore very young, or was she maybe a little bit more mature?
She was not that old. From my estimation, she was around 20 or a little bit over 20 years old.
Merci.
Thank you. Did your wife tell you how she learned that she would have to get married? Did she understand that she was going to get married on that very same day, or was she warned beforehand?
She herself knew about the arrangement, and only myself, I was not aware about the arrangement. The women, they knew about the arrangement, and later on when we were living together, I asked her whether she lied to me, and she says that she did that because she did it out of fear, and that we had to agree to do what we were told, otherwise we would risk being killed. And I did not answer many questions.
How many couples were there during your collective marriage? And can you tell us if you knew the people who got married at the same time as you? And can you tell us if possibly they were in the same situation as you? That is to say, were they obliged to get married, or did they do so on their own will?
We all were forced to get married. There were some Khmer people and some minority people. Of course, they did not like one another, but we were forced to get married. There were 30 of us all together, and the person was small. However, Mol passed away. Mol was younger than me, but because of illnesses, he passed away, and Mol used to come to testify in this court.
During the ceremony, when the authorities were present there, did they ask you explicitly to consummate the marriage? That is to say, to quote-unquote get along well with your wife. And were you told to give Angkar children, or did they not say anything about that during the ceremony?
They said that if we did not produce children for Angkar, then we were against the law. But in my case, my wife miscarried the baby, so they could not discipline us or punish us.
Did you have to make promises during the ceremony, or were they couples representing all couples on site to make such pledges?
In fact, there was a representative. 2 or 3 people were representing us, and I was not one of them. And to my recollection, there were 3 couples who represented us, and they could not allow all the 30 couples to make a commitment.
And in order to finish now, I have just 1 or 2 questions about K11 and about the Plum Kraal Security Center. So what do you know about K11? Was it also a place where prisoners were detained who had committed offenses? And can you tell us if there was a security center called Plum Kraal, which was very close to K11? So here are 2 different questions.
There was one, and then there was another one at the southeast location. At Plum Kraal, the location was under the supervision of Lane, and it was not far from the other one. It was close to each other, but I could not say who were detained there. There were some people from the division, and there were some civilians who were detained there, but I cannot tell you how many exactly, because I did not have any authority to enter the place.
When you speak to us about people from the division, are you referring to Division 920 of the center, or are you referring to the army of Sector 105? Or were there people from both units in Plum Kraal?
President Civil Party, please observe the microphone. Civil Party. I saw some people because they used to work with me. but I did not dare to ask them anything. I only saw them, but I did not speak to them. And I wonder why they were there and why they were not with the division headquarters. However, that is only my understanding. I did not dare to ask any question or to look at their faces or to count how many of them were there.
My very last question. Did any members of your family who were working for the London administration face problems between 1975 and 1979?
Regarding my family, some family members were killed. However, I did not know exactly how it happened. I was told that two uncles on my father's side were taken away. Maybe they were taken away and killed because I never saw them again.
Merci.
Thank you. I am done with my questions. Thank you, Mr. President.
President, I now hand the floor to the defense team for Nuon Chea to put a question to this civil party. Council, thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everyone. And good afternoon, Mr. Civil Party. My name is Liu Sawana. I'm the National Council for Nuon Chea, and I have some questions to put to you. A while ago, you stated that you were taken to the houses where women lived when you were taken to have a bath. Can you tell the chamber who led you there and what was his position? Answer. The person was the group chief named Sian who took me there. But at the time, Sian did not tell me that I had to look at those women. Sian was Khmer. He did not mention that I should go there and to look for my future wife. I just followed the sea and went through those houses where women stayed. Question. While you were passing at the area, did you see many women who were at the houses or who were at the location where you took your bath? Answer. Of course, there were many in all those rooms. There were women, but I honestly did not know that I was led there in order to observe those women. Only upon my return, I was asked whether I liked any woman there. If they were to tell me that I had to go there to observe for my future wife, that would be a different story. But I was not told anything about that. Question. When you were asked whether you liked any woman, did the person refer to any particular woman or all those women? Answer. No, they only asked me about any woman that I liked or that I wanted to get married to, and I told the person back I did not pay attention to that, and as I said earlier, later on I was sent to Thrasher Rise. Question. And while you were sent to Thrasher Rise, how many women are working at that location? Answer. There were 4 or 5 women who were working there, and I was the only man. Then people teased me and matched me to this woman or that woman. And still at the time I did not decide as who I liked. Then I was asked whom I like. I said that I did not make any decision yet, and they gave me 3 days to think about it. And after 3 days I was called again and asked about my opinion. And I said it's up to Onka. If Onka arrange an event, I would agree, because inside I was afraid and I did not dare to oppose Onka's instructions. And we were told that we had to marry to produce children for Onka. Council interrupts. In the interest of time, allow me to move on. And do you know why you were sent to see if you could choose one of those 4 or 5 women to be your future wife at the location where you stretch your rise? Answer: I did not know the reason either. There were 5 women and I was the only man there. And when I was there, they teased me and I did not know what the arrangement was. Question: you said the first time you were asked, you said that you had to think about it, and for the second time you said that you agreed to it. And my question is, did you behave in a certain way so that the person asked you the question would know that you would agree to the marriage arrangement? And I don't know, maybe you were mistaken to counsel. In fact, I was asked a question and I said that I did not make any decision yet. And 3 days later, they came to ask me again. And that was the time that I told them that I made a decision. And I told you that I made that decision because I was afraid. And that is my response all along. Question: does that mean that the person who asked you whether you made up your mind yet did not know that you did not want to get married? Am I correct in saying so? And yes, they came to ask me the question, and initially I did not make any decision, and later on I agreed to it. Question: so after you made up your mind, they agreed to your decision? And you also said that you made that decision out of fear. What kind of fear? Can you tell us? And so during the regime, everybody was afraid. And also because I was reassigned out of the division, and Chen Soy had been arrested by that time. And when I was at that new location, I was put under pressure as well. So everybody was afraid, and not only me who was afraid. We all had to obey the instructions. And if I was not afraid, then I would not get married. Question: and the fear actually was born from inside you, is that correct? Answer: of course, the fear came from inside me, because that's what I observed. People made mistakes and they were arrested and taken away. Question: you said there were 30 couples on your wedding day. However, in your supplementary information, E3/6570A, you says that you were born to Talpas, a Phnom girl, together with the people in the village, and there were 20 couples in total. Can you tell us the difference why initially there were 20 couples and now you made mentions about 30 couples? Answer, maybe I made a mistake. In fact, there were 30 couples. Of course, I forgot initially about the number of couples who got married. Question, I'd like to ask for your clarification in relation to this supplementary form, since there is no date on it. My question to you is the following. Why did you decide to make this supplementary information form? Is it at your own initiative, or was it at other people's initiative? Answer is my opinion to do that, because I am old and I forget a lot, and I remember about this, the number of couples. There were 30 couples, and there was no one who was behind my initiative to do the supplementary form. Council interrupts. Allow me to stick to my question. My question is in relation to the supplementary form E3/6570 that is supplementary to your civil party application. E3/4989 says the Council. In your initial document, E3/4983 says the Council, you did not mention about the forced marriage. And later on, you added that you were forced to get married in late 77. So my question to you is that whether, or at whose initiative that you made the second supplementary information form? In fact, it's my initiative. President interrupts. Civil Party, please hold on. And lead co-lawyer for Civil Parties, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm reacting, at least based on the translation I heard in French. So I don't know if it's exactly what our colleague said it in Khmer, but the Civil Party said that he had filled out his supplementary information form upon his own initiative. And then our colleague is asking him who drove him to do that, and who drove him to fill out that supplementary information form. So this is a completely leading question, and that does not furthermore reflect what the Civil Party said. It happens to be that the Civil Party answered again that he took the initiative to fill out the supplementary information form. So I would please like our colleague to stop putting leading questions to the Civil Party. This would be very much appreciated.
Council, Mr. President, my initial question was about the supplementary information form. However, the Civil Party mentions about the 20 couples and the 30 couples. As for the 30 couples, he said that it was at his own initiative, but I'd like to stress about who initiated the supplementary information form, because in his response he only focused on the number of couples. President, the Civil Party, please respond to that question. Answer, I do not have anything else to add to my previous response.
Actually,
please clarify your question. President, the Council, please ask the question again.
I think what might have been missed is that the Civil Party has answered the question just when Council rose. He has repeated what he had said before, meaning I did it on my own initiative. So he's on record. That's why he says I have nothing to add.
Miss Vanna, in Khmer language. My first question was about who assisted him in filling the form. And he said that he filled the form, the supplementary form, by himself, and that did not correctly correspond to my question.
But when you asked your second question, he answered it. I understand you had a second question, and he answered it just before the co-lead lawyer rose to object. So there is an answer to your second question. That's why he says, I have answered.
Liswana, if he had given the answer, and then the answer is in the transcript. So now let me move on. I would like to know about your answer that you said that other people were also forced to get married. How come you could say that others were also forced to get married? Answer, I dare to say like that because other people who were arranged to get married also whispered to me, if we dare to oppose the marriage, we would be punished. We had to agree in order to survive. We all knew about this. And because we agreed, we survived. Question, yeah, for your case, I know it clearly. But here I ask about the other couples whom you say were also forced to get married. What were your evidence to prove that they were also forced to get married? Answer, I have no opinion to give the answer to you. I concluded that they were forced to get married because they were also fearful just like me. Question, I would like to clarify with you. When you said that others were also forced to get married, it was simply your opinion, is that correct? Answer, it's not my opinion. Other people whispered to me. They did not dare to talk about it openly. They said that we had to agree in order to survive. If we opposed, we would be in trouble. So everyone who got married during the regime all said that they were forced to get married. Question. Now I have another question regarding your fiancée, whom you met, whom you went to meet after 1979. Did she tell you that she was also forced to get married? Answer. Are you talking about my fiancée? She was also aware about this. But we live differently. I live in Mandulkari, she lived in Takao. Question. I wanted to know whether your fiancée herself was also forced to get married. Answer. She did not tell me. Question. Related to your child, you said that after 1979 you had another baby, but the baby did not survive because your wife had a miscarriage. Answer. I complained that there was a miscarriage because my wife was required to work so hard, and that effect remained even after the Vietnamese liberated the country because she was overworked. She had a miscarriage. Question. So after 1979, that is after the liberation, was she also forced to work hard? Answer. I talk about the effect of exhaustion as a result of overwork that remained from the regime until later on. The effect remained. Lisa Vanna, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Civil Party. I have no more question. President, now I give the floor to Defense Counsel for Khieu Samphan. Kong Samphan, thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, Mr. Civil Party. I have only a few questions to put to you. My first question is, were you aware about the morality governing the behavior of men and women during the DK regime? Answer, yes, I was aware about the ethic or morality, and that's why I did not dare to commit any wrongdoing. In those days, women and men walked separately. Men and women did not meet each other. If they meet each other, their respective unit chief would question them. Question. When your unit chiefs advised to you to go around and look at women, the terms looking at women based on your awareness at that time, was it about looking for a woman to be your wife? Answer. I said so only later on, but during that time they did not say so. They simply took me, and I had no idea for what purpose they took me to. Only later on that I was aware that they took me to look at women. Question. I took note of what you said earlier, that your unit chief took you to pass the houses of women. So I want to clarify with you that when you were taken out, were you told to where you were taken out? Answer. Can you clarify your question? I want to tell you that when I was called to go out, I had no idea for what purpose I took to. Night called me out, but I had no idea of for what purpose I was taken out. Only later on, I found out that I was taken out because they wanted me to have a look at women. It was later on that I realized that I was taken out to look at women. Question. So the terms taken out to see women was the words that came out from your own mouth, not from the mouth of your unit chief. Is that correct? Answer. Yes, that's correct. Question. When did you learn or realize that you were taken out to see the women was in fact for choosing a woman to get married? Answer. It was on the third day that I was required to make decision that I started to realize about the prospects of I getting married. Kung Samon, thank you, Mr. Civil Party. Mr. President, I have no more question. President, thank you. Mr. Coleman, do you have any additional statement you wish to make? Coleman, I don't have any additional opinion to make. I only request to my lawyer and to the two accused, Kieu Sampon and Nuon Chia, to tell us about the truth. And I also would like to request to them and to the court to make sure that the later generation will not face the same kind of fate like mine. Nowadays we have freedom, but during the regime we had no freedom at all. My life was miserable since I was born until now, and that's why I would like to request to the court to make sure that our later generation will not face the kind of that misery. That's all. President, thank you, Mr. Colnam. The hearing of your testimony about your suffering that you suffered during the DK regime that is related to the regulation of marriage is now concluded. Now you may be excused from the court. The chamber would like to thank you for your testimony in this courtroom. And the chamber also would like to thank Mr. Bun Lam Ho, the TPO staff. Based on the report, you will also be expected to accompany the next civil party. Therefore, you are requested to remain here. For Mr. Colnam, you can leave the courtroom now. Court officer, in collaboration with Visu, please make necessary transport arrangement to send Mr. Colnam to where he wishes to go. And please usher the next civil party, 2 TCCP 1067, into the courtroom. President, good afternoon, Madam Civil Party. What is your name? Answer, my name is Ngat Chat. Question, thank you, Madam Ngat Chat. Do you remember your date of birth? Answer, no, I cannot recall it. I remember that I was born in the year of Rooster. President, thank you. Where was your place of birth? Answer, I was born in Rung Takok village. Question, what about the commune and district and province? Answer, Bagan district of Posat province. Question, what about your current address? Where do you live? Answer, I live in Rung Takok village. Question, what is your occupation? Answer, I am a rice farmer. Question, what are the names of your parents? Answer, my father named Ngat, my mother named Nghiêu. Question, what is your husband's name and how many children do you have? Answer, my husband's name Ying Pan. With my first husband, I had 2 children, and with my second husband, I had 4 children. President Madam Ngat, in your capacity as a civil party, you may make a victim's impact statement related to the crimes which are alleged against the 2 accused, Nunchi and Khieu Sampon, and harms inflicted upon you during Democratic Cambodia regime that resulted in your civil party application to claim collective and moral reparations for physical, material, and mental injuries as direct consequences of those crimes. If you wish to do so, you can do so. But based on the request by the lead co-lawyer for civil party, the chamber give the floor to the lead co-lawyer for civil party to put questions about the harms and suffering related to this victim. You may now proceed.
Merci, monsieur.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to give the floor to our colleague Junti, who will be asking questions of the civil party.
Well, good.
President Councillor Lau Chunti, you can ask now, and you have 30 minutes to put question to the civil party. Lau Chunti, thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to say good afternoon to your honors and parties. My name is Lau Chunti, the National Council for Civil Party. Madam Civil Party, I have some questions to put to you related to the regulation of marriage. My first question is, in 1975, on 17 April 1975, where did you live? Answer. I lived in Posat province. Then I brought my children and husband to live in Rumlek work site. They organized a work site there. Question. At the work site, did you go there all together or what? Answer. There were many people at the work site. At the work site, we built shelters to stay in rows, and when it was eating time, they rang the bell and we came to eat collectively. Question. Another question of mine related to an incident that you raised. At that time, your husband went to work at the work site, and when he returned, at that time you were waiting for him at an office, and while you were waiting for him at that office, was there anything happened? Answer: in 1975, there was no remarkable event happened. I would like to repeat my question. One day, your husband went to fetch your children, and you were waiting for him at a place. And can you tell us what happened at the place where you waited for him? Answer: it was in 1978. Initially I was at Rumlek, and then I was transferred to Tribunal Toteng, and it was some months later I was assigned to collect corn. So I left the battlefield along with my children and husband, and it was at noon. I saw people being walked away to be executed. I asked them where those people were being taken to, and they said that they were being taken to collect corns. And they asked me why I did not go along with those people. I told them that I was waiting for my husband to bring my children to me. And they asked me whether I came here with my family, and I said yes. And they asked me where is my husband? And I told that my husband had gone to fetch my children. And that Comrade Sun told me that I should not go. I should let only my husband to go with those people being walked away. And my husband, when he returned to me, he asked me why I did not go along with those people. I told him that Comrade Sun advised me to stay, and only you should go with those people. My husband begged me and tried to convince me to go with him. But I told him that I did not want to go because I want to stay with my parents. And finally, I agreed to go. And we all wept. I did not want to go, but my husband tried to convince me to go with him. My husband walked in the first row, and after my husband had left, I was taken to a place where they raised pigs. Question: at that time, when you were taken to a place where they raised pigs, did anything happen to you? Answer, yes, I remembered at about 7 p.m. while I was sleeping in the long shelter reserved for the elderly women. I saw militiamen, including Sun, who came and their hands were carrying swords, and the swords were stained with blood. And they asked me whether I recognized anything. And I told them that I recognized the clothes. The clothes belonged to Comrade Pine. I was so scary at that time. I thought that my husband would already have been killed. The incident that I witnessed happened around 7 o'clock at night time. Question. When your husband had disappeared, as you told us earlier, did anything happen to you? Answer, there was nothing happened. But it was about 1 week after his disappearance, I was forced to get married. One day, a cadre came to tell me, Comrade Chad, today you don't have to go to work. So I did not go to work. And then the person told me, now you go to the rare battlefield with me. So I followed the person. And when we arrived at the venue, I noticed there were many people at the venue. And when I arrived, I was told that I would be required to get married. And I had no idea of which men I would be matched up with. Question. Now let me backtrack a little bit. I want to know who was the one who told you that you would be sent to get married. Answer, it was Uncle Sun, but he did not tell me that I would go to get married. I was simply told to go to the venue and to follow him. So I followed him, and when I arrived at the venue, I saw many people were already there. They were around my age, and I was told that I would be required to get married. I had no idea which men I would be matched up with. Question. How many days the wedding took place after the disappearance of your husband? Answer. It was about 3 or 4 days after his disappearance. I still wept at the loss of my husband's disappearance. My mothers-in-law and siblings-in-law and my husband, who were all ethnic Cambodia Kraum, were taken away to be killed, and I still wept at the loss of them. Question. Can you clarify to us what do you mean by his ethnicity of Cambodia? Answer. I don't know. But they referred to them as Cambodia, and previously they referred to them as Preh Tapiang group. Question. Do you mean that it was the people from Cambodia Kraum, Khmer people from Cambodia Kraum? Answer. the Preh group were referred to as Cambodia. During the old regime, they were called the Preh group, but during the Khmer Rouge regime, they were referred to as the Cambodia group. And that was the words they used, and I simply follow that usage. Question. During the time of your marriage, were you advised or told about the purpose of your marriage? Answer. They told us to make commitment. I looked at the face of my spouse, and he's very old. I was only 20 years old, and he was much older than me. But I did not dare to protest because they said that if I opposed, I would be sent to the upper level. I had no idea which upper level was it. Question. At that time, did you have any feeling of opposing to the marriage because you had just lost your husband? Answer. No, I did not dare to oppose because I was told that if I opposed, I would be sent to the upper level. I felt afraid that I would die and leaving my children behind, so I did not dare to oppose. Question. How did you feel at that time? Answer. It was beyond the words to describe. I cannot find any words to describe my feeling. But what I can tell you is that when I saw them, I felt intimidated and frightened. Question. After you got married, did they give you a place to consummate your marriage? Answer. After the marriage, we were walked at night time, and we were given small shelter to spend the night. My second husband also had his wife, who was an ethnic Cambodia Kraum, killed. Question. At that time, did you consummate your marriage? Answer. We consulted among each other that we should not oppose and we should keep quiet because there were militiamen walking nearby. So we did not dare to make any noise. We kept quiet because we saw cases where people were taken away to be killed. Question. You felt fearful because you saw cases of people taken away to be killed, or what? Civil party, can you repeat your question? Counsel, you said that you were fearful. You were fearful of being taken to the upper level. Was there cases where people were taken away to the upper level, or what? Answer. No. But I saw the cases of my husband who were taken away and he disappeared. President, thank you, Mr. Thank you, Counsel. The hearing today is adjourned. The Chamber will resume its hearing tomorrow, Tuesday, 25th October 2016 at 9. And the hearing tomorrow is to hear the testimony of two TCCP 1067 and two TCCP 1068. And we also have a witness to TCW 859 related to the nature of the conflict. Parties, please be informed about this. Madam Chat, your testimony today is not yet concluded. You are therefore invited to come back tomorrow at 9 a.m. The Chamber also would like to thank Mr. Lam Bun Hua for spending your time accompanying this civil party. Court officer, in collaboration with Visu, please make necessary transport arrangement to send Madame Chat to where she is staying and invite her back to the courtroom tomorrow at 9. Security personnel are instructed to bring Khieu Sampon and Nuon Chia back to the detention facility and have them returned to the courtroom tomorrow morning before 9 a.m. The court is now adjourned.